I said to myself, and I also tweeted it too, going into the third period, all the Flyers had to do, you get that mentality, you win the period, you win the game. It sounds like the easiest thing in the world because obviously when you're down 1-0, if you score a couple goals, probably win the game. But very easier said than done. The Flyers bunker down, played better defensively, scored 2 goals. Carter Hart was absolutely fantastic in this game. Just amazing. Jason Martinez put out a tweet had saying that, maybe this was one of Hart's best games of his career so far. I think it's definitely up there. I mean, he was just amazing. That save he had on Sebastian Aho with around 55 seconds left in the third period. I mean, if it doesn't show a goaltender with any more confidence, I don't know what does. I mean, this guy has just played amazing. Another tweet here from Jace. Flyers have beaten the Canes, also the Oilers, Capitals, and Bruins already this season. And they have 3 games that they won 2-1, all on the road. Vancouver, Capitals, and Canes. Those 3 games were all 2-1 victories on the road. And, another tweet here from the Liberty Yell, great guys, Chris and Danny. The Flyers have answered every loss this year so far with a win. This was tweeted yesterday. The home opener, they answered with a 6-1 win against Seattle. 4-2 loss against Florida, answered with a 5-3 win against the Oilers. 4-0 loss to Calgary, answered with a 3-0 win in Arizona. Also to add to this, they didn't put this in the tweet, but also to add, 3-2 overtime loss against Pittsburgh, answered with a 2-1 win against Washington. And now the Flyers 3-0 loss against Toronto, and they answer that with a 2-1 win against Carolina. If that is something that teams are able to do down the stretch, that is absolutely huge. Now, if you heard me on the Travis Ballinghoff's podcast, I had talked about the fourth line for the Flyers. And the fourth line has definitely had its chances, and Zach McEwen ends up getting the game-winning goal. I said that line was going to end up getting a goal here soon with the chances they've had, and they do. That was a great shift. I'll break that down, but let's talk about a couple things that happened earlier today. Nicholas Aube-Kubel was placed on waivers for the Flyers. Now, Aube-Kubel getting placed on waivers can be a little worrisome, if I'm being honest with you. I personally think a team could pick up Aube-Kubel. It would suck to lose him for nothing. Waivers is a very tough thing, and the reason for that is to take Kevin Hayes and activate him off of long-term injury reserve. So that is the reason. I'm really, really hoping nobody picks up Aube-Kubel. There hasn't been any update on it yet. It's 11:18 p.m. right now as I'm talking. We're shooting this video, so hopefully as of tomorrow and by around 2 o'clock, he'll clear. But lines for this game, a little bit different. Talked about it in an article. Giroux, Couturier, Konechny. Lindblom goes up to the second line with Brassard and Atkinson. Farabee goes down with Lawton and JVR. Thompson, Brown, McEwen. Defense is the same. Provy, Braun, Sanheim, Rousseau, Yandel, Sealer. Carter Hart, who again was amazing in this one, starts. First period starts. Flyers had some good momentum in the first, I'd say, 3-4 minutes. The Braun had a shot off a Canes turnover. Lindblom had a lot of speed in this game. I feel like this was one of Lindblom's better games. Not that he hasn't played well. Again, I've said that Lindblom has really looked, but he was definitely noticeable in this game. He had his legs. He won a lot of puck battles. He was able to create some offense. And really from the first handful of minutes of the first was when I started to notice him. Flyers get a power play early on. Yandel back up to the first unit. Atkinson had a chance off a Konechny saucer pass kind of play where he kind of ended up losing the puck. It was just, the power play was an absolute mess tonight. The Flyers went 0 for 5. There was 2 instances in the first period where the Flyers had a power play, or the Canes did, and ended up going 4-on-4. So there's a lot of penalties in this game, 10 total. Both teams went 0 for 5 on the power play. So 4-on-4, JVR takes a tripping penalty. Pretty tough call there for JVR because it was kind of just one of them ones where he kind of bumps into you and it's kind of a tripping. But anyway, they definitely had some pressure. Hart had a nice save on a Chesnikov chance. But the Flyers, they blocked some passes, blocked some shots. As I said, Hart had a few good saves. They called that one off. So back to 5-on-5. Sanheim has a chance on a 3-on-2 rush. I feel like Sanheim has definitely had his plays where he's really moved into the zone and he's been able to generate chances off the rush. The Flyers had a pretty sloppy shift from the first line, and that kind of led to really all Carolina in the first period. had a handful of icings in a row. Canes pounced on them. Then they get a power play. Hart had a great save on a one-timer. Then 4-on-4. Stahl, interference call. And this was after the Canes had some pressure. They had chances in front. Hart was making some saves. So 4-on-3. Trocheck with a trip then. So that's after the 4-on-4. Then it's a 5-on-3 because it was a 4-minute call on Stahl for the interference. I didn't know that. Didn't seem like Rob Brindamore knew that either. He was pissed, and they didn't really do anything about it. So it was a 4-minute. Flyers had a 5-on-3 for a minute 5. Then they opened the second period with a 2-minute and 9-second power play. They did absolutely nothing with it. They were dumping the puck in on a 5-on-3. I mean, if there's anything that tells you that the power play is not clicking, it's that. Like, it's just, I don't understand what it is. Also, face-offs in this period. Couturier and Giroux went a combined 0 for 8. That was a tweet from Bill Meltzer. Coots was 0 for 5. Giroux was 0 for 3. So, that obviously wasn't great either. They weren't winning face-offs, and they weren't, it seemed like every power play the Flyers had in this game, they lost the opening face-off. If the play was in the offensive zone, if they were able to keep it alive, as I said, they weren't really able to flag it down or wherever the game just got to clear. So, yeah, end of the first period wasn't great. Shots on goal were 13-6 in favor of Carolina. Their Flyers breakouts were not good either. They were just very sloppy passes. They were not in sync early. And as I said, they had a handful of icings. But in the second, they have the power play. First unit did absolutely nothing. It was just basically passes back to Giroux, and they would dump the puck in. Canes would get there first and dump it. Second unit had a couple chances. Provorov had a nice shot. Lindblom gets put on that second unit. I thought that looked good for the most part from what we saw from Oscar there. I think that definitely could be something clicking when Ellis comes back, and it seems like he's going to come back tomorrow against Dallas, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Giroux had a chance off a rush. Flyers were definitely skating better. They had their legs. Lindblom won a puck battle. He found Yandel. Passed that over to Sealer. It was just a routine save for Anderson, but then Lindblom followed that up with another chance on a 3-on-2 rush. Ended up hitting the side of the net there. Really good shift by the first line. Konechny just missed Coots crashing the net there on a kind of a 2-on-1 play. Looked like he passed it a little too hard and Coots couldn't get enough wood on it. Atkinson had a really nice chance in front of a forced turnover. Lindblom had a 2-on-1 with Brassard that I had just mentioned where he hit the side of the net. So those were really two chances there that were just really close. And Lindblom also made a couple plays where he had a 3-on-2 rush before, and he had his chances there in the second, and then the Canes went right down and scored. It was just a bouncing play at the line. I believe it was Sanheim couldn't get the puck through, and it was a play where Couturier got back, and he just got it, and it went right to the Canes player cutting in. Shot it off the glass, came right back down, sent it over, and Torrents ended up smacking it out of there. I still think that goal was a high stick, but it obviously wasn't. It was 2-0 Carolina. This looked like it was starting to get worse. Jarvis is actually offside on the play. It was a weird play. He went to shoot it, and his stick blade broke, flew into the net, and then the puck just rolled because Hart had no idea where it was. So that just rolled in. So Flyers challenge it. They get the call. No goal. Provorov had a huge hit on Teravainen. I feel like that might have been a hit to try to get a message going, trying to wake up here. Didn't really do much. There was a shift where Carolina had the Flyers just hemmed into the corner, and then they end up taking a penalty. So a power play there, and that was on Couturier. So penalty kill was essentially just standing there. Hart kept them in the game, had a great diving save late, had a handful of good saves. Giroux ended up blocking a piece of that diving save, ended up hitting Hart. They ended up clearing it, but just need to wake up. And again, I said to myself after this period, just win the period, you win the game. Shots on goal were 27-13 in favor of Carolina, 14-7. I mean, if you have a first period with 6 shots and a second period with 7, I'd say your chances of winning the game are pretty slim. So the starts need to be better, and there's obviously a lot of aggravating things that come out of this game because the first 40 just were not good enough for the Flyers. Third period, though, handful of chances early. They switch up the lines. You see Farabee with Konechny and Lawton. You see a couple other switches as well. They were just firing pucks from everywhere. That was another thing I had said. Just start throwing pucks in the net. They did that. Yandel had a chance from the corner, just threw to the net, and they ended up getting a goal a couple minutes later. 1-1. Lawton with the play where they just throw it off the end wall. We saw it in the Boston game. Yandel sent it down low. JVR shot came right at the Lawton. Bam, 5-hole goal on Swayman. Then that was another one where the Flyers had that play on the bank pass, and they actually have given up the bank pass a couple times in the home opener that the Canucks almost scored. There was another play the Canes had a power play in this game where they almost scored on that, but they used the bank pass to their advantage. Lawton fires it in, Farabee goes in, bam, 5-hole goal. First goal for the Flyers in 128 minutes and 22 seconds. Had another good shift after that goal. Konechny had a couple plays to keep the puck alive. Kotkaniemi slammed Sanheim from behind. Then that led to a Teravainen breakaway because Ristolainen missed his defensive assignment and went to go, just try to punish Kotkaniemi for what he had just did to Sanheim. And Hart made a nice save there. And I seriously have no idea how that was not called. But anyway, Flyers survived that. They have a really good shift from the fourth line. McEwen gets in there first. They dump it in. McEwen gets in first. Made the pass up to Brown. He won the puck battle first. Passed it to Brown. Brown made a nice play where he actually lost it and then tipped it just to right on the Braun stick. Braun got the shot through to the net. McEwen got a little tip on it. Carter Hart said post-game it went off his leg. I thought it went off the shaft of his stick as he was holding it in between his hands like this. But anyway, doesn't matter where it hit. It went into the net, and the Flyers get the 2-1 lead there and the goal. Power play for Carolina here. Konechny had a bad play in the neutral zone, interference, crazy passes all over. The Carolina hit a post, scramble in front. Provorov had a nice block. They had many block shots in this game. Slash on Trocheck, 5 minutes left. The goal, a goal here for the Flyers would end this game. All they needed to do was just get one. And if you're able to get one, that's fine. That power play did absolutely nothing. I mean, I don't know what it is with the power play. The Canes actually had chances shorthanded going the other way. Braun made a nice play to get the puck out at the red line in the last handful of minutes there. Hart absolutely stoned Aho in the slot. Just quick wrist shot in the slot, and Hart just snagged it. Sashnikov comes down the other way with 12 seconds left. Hart snags it out of the air, no problem. AV switched up the lines. That worked. They get 2 goals. You win the period. You win the game. That's what the Flyers did tonight. Carter Hart was fantastic with 39 saves. Fourth line gets the game-winning goal. And again, it wasn't the best game overall from the Flyers, but they played well enough in that third period to pick up 2 points. Now, Dallas tomorrow, you could see some switches. The one thing with the Stars is the fact that they're 1-4-2 in their last 7 games. They had a closed-door meeting. Bill Meltzer put a tweet out about that. They haven't played well. And if I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if the Stars come out buzzing. It's a home game for them. They've had some time off. So Flyers really need to keep this going and build off this win and be able to go into Dallas. Another thing is the fact that the Stars, they're a streakier team. They have been in the last handful of years. They got hot, ended up going to the Cup final and things like that. But overall, you could see Ryan Ellis in this one. AV's very confident about that. Hayes is 50-50, so we'll see about that. But anyway, Flyers pick up a 2-1 win in Carolina. Remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.